Good evening from my part of the world. "14 days to 14th September. Good evening from my part of the world. Let's have another conversation. Let's have another conversation. How ready and willing are you to sacrifice what you have that makes no meaning to you in order to acquire what you need to become the person you are made to be? How willing and ready are you to sacrifice what you have that makes no meaning to you in order to acquire what you need to become the person you are made to be? How ready and willing are you? How ready and willing are you to sacrifice what you have that makes no meaning to you in order to acquire what you need to become the person you are made to be? Life at its core is a continuous process of exchange. So we can say life is an opportunity cost. It's not just an economic word. Every decision we make is a trade-off. Choosing one thing means letting go of another. The question is, are we ready and willing to sacrifice what no longer serves us in order to step into the person we're truly made to be? Are we ready and willing? Two different things. Ready and willing to sacrifice what no longer serves us in order to step into the person we were truly made to be. Many people cling to habits, possessions, relationships, or mindsets that hold no real meaning. Habits, old habits we are comfortable with, possessions, relationships, or even mindsets that no longer have any meaning in their lives. They know these things add no value, yet they are reluctant to release them. Why? Because familiarity feels safe. Thank you, Daniel, for being on. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. Familiarity feels safe. We are safe in our comfortable ways. So any other thing that would stretch us a little bit, nah, we don't even want to try. We don't even want to try. Even when a pattern is destructive, the comfort of the known often feels less intimidating than the uncertainty of change. Yɛnyɛ koraa because ɛden dodo a wepaa deɛ mentumi nyɛ o. Hwan na ɛka kyerɛ wo sɛ wontumi nyɛ? Hwan na bie n'ano ka kyerɛ wo sɛ wontumi nyɛ? Ɛbɔ wo amanneɛ sɛ wontumi nyɛ. Our old ways na. So 10 years will come, 20 years will come, 30 years will come, and we are still the same. In our conversations, in our interactions, in our income, in our health, we are still the same. And yet everyone is praying for a better life. Would better life just come because we decide? Even when a pattern is destructive, wonim sɛ abrabɔ yi woanyɛ careful ɛmfa nkɔ baabiara. And yet, the ɛbɛyɛ a wobɛka sɛ, let me take a 160-degree turn, 180-degree turn. No. The comfortable way now, so life becomes robotic. And before you open your eyes, you are 50, like myself. And then you'll be chasing the devil, whereby the devil has no role in it. He has no role in it. The comfort of the known often feels less intimidating than the uncertainty of change. But growth requires courage, and courage always demands sacrifice. The people who had parents, significant others, siblings who were futuristic enough to sit them down and guide them. I'm telling you, even in their late 30s, they've already established the foundations for their lives. What many people are learning in our 50s now, some people had others who held their hand and pushed them into it. So in their 30s, the structure of their lives were already in place. Taking calculated risks that majority won't do. Those are the people that even in their 20s, they were ready and willing to own their lives and to make calculated risks. And imagine if we are able to discover this purposeful life and start living in our 20s, 30s. By the time you be 50, what is left? You've already established every other thing. Now you are managing it and diversifying in it. But to discover the pattern which you want your life to go in your late 40s, it is a wasted time. And anything that wastes your time equally wastes your life, because your time is your life. Growth requires courage. And many people, it's not because they are not courageous. They have the courage, but they needed the guidance. Growth requires courage. And courage also always demands sacrifices. Sacrifices. If it's school you want to continue and you are in 20s and your 30s and you spending buying unnecessary things. Imagine if you have to pay your children's school fees and you also want to go back to school. Whose would be a priority? Definitely your children. So you would have to put your life on hold now. Whereby in your 20s and 30s, if you had parents, significant others, whoever that was futuristic enough to guide you, wobɛdi 30, wahyehyɛ w'abrabɔ ne dada. Nti blame na yɛde blame ɔbonsam bebree has nothing to do with any ɔbonsam. It is because there is no agenda for our lives. There is no agenda. Ye school not whether it's a tertiary, whether a trading bin or business, what started here, Juma. No agenda. Not like I'm working 5 years towards this, I'm doing this. By the time I'm this is no agenda, nothing. And we are believing that someone will bring us good news one day. And God will smile at us one day, and our lives will turn around. And before I realize you are married, you have family, you have responsibilities, your parents are also demanding of you. Until when nipa wants to nipa no is 60, and energy is gone, time is gone. Is this all that life is about? There is no agenda. Growth requires courage. The people that in the university, in the tertiary, were able to sit down and design their lives. I'm telling you, just after school, you meet them, everything about them is different. In the university, in the tertiary, adwuma na osua a ɔntwɛn mu nwie adwuma. Ɛm na osuma adwuma na watena ase calculate the life they want to live. Nti wohyia the 10 years everything indicates you will be all direction in life. Until wiase kɛkɛ. Na afei akɔ na afei aba na wa celebrate Christmas, Easter, birthday, na 1 year is added. No. Wotena akyi na wohwɛ n'abrabɔ na wotumi say yes. He or she is living on an agenda. We cannot carry unnecessary baggage and still want to climb to the heights of our destinies. Oh, for people, maybe bowani, maybe bowachi. How energy now they be climbing away? Energy bear now they be climbing you. It be bowani, bowachi, and yet you want to climb the mountain. To become the person you are meant to be, you must shed what is weighing you down. It is difficult, but you must. That might mean sacrificing unproductive routines, toxic relationships and associations, unhealthy comparisons, or even limiting beliefs. The beliefs that is holding us into captive, and yet your body so. And as long as we hold on to that belief, trust me, life won't change. Because as a man thinks in his head, so is he. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Do we use our heart to think? No. If it doesn't change in the mind, it won't change in the hearts. And if it doesn't change in the heart, it won't change in our behavior. And if it doesn't change in our behavior, our actions won't be influenced and therefore won't get any results. So limiting beliefs. How frequently do we sit down, pause, and take stock of our accounts like any storekeeper would do? How often do we sit down and take stock of our lives? People we pour into, who don't pour anything back into us. And yet, anytime they want us, they know how to find us. To become the person we're meant to be, we must shed what is weighing us down. That might mean sacrificing unproductive routines. Robotic. There is no day about Nasipo, even brainstorming. I hope we know the difference between mindstorming and brainstorming. So, one of a pen. Oh, this year is getting to an end. Then, be na me. Yetiameka market and sumi dikra. I'm financially, I'm struggling. I don't want to enter next year like this. What more can I add? You know what's now saying? Whatever comes to your mind, you are writing it down. That is mindstorming. It is you and yourself. How often do we sit down to recalculate, to take stock of our lives? So year in, year out, we are still the same. And yes, we'll be tongues bofoma. Now we'll be or be up baby and yet our lives are not productive. We are not fruitful. There's no increase, there's no growth. To become the person we're meant to be, we must shed what is weighing us down. That might mean sacrificing unproductive routines. Your time is your life. So in your 24 hours, when you calculate, what did you use that 24 hours for? That will determine the results that we achieve in the day. Because everybody has 24 hours. How come some are so productive and others robotic? From work to this to that, now abeda, now diachi. Obi to me point to my TV in 4 hours before wada. And if we are broke, what makes us think is the devil's fault? Which devil, by the way? Which devil? To become the person we're meant to be, we must shed what is weighing us down. That might mean sacrificing unproductive routines that are unproductive. You know, if you continue in this routine for the next 10, 20 years, there will be no change. There will be no change. You know it deep down. But sometimes taking the bold step to do what exactly you know is right is the problem because we are comfortable in these robotic routines, toxic relationships and associations, unhealthy comparisons, even on limiting beliefs about what we can do and cannot achieve. These things may feel like a part of you, but in truth, they are only distractions that prevent you from living fully. Sometimes we live that way and we think as for us, this is the way we are. We can never change. It's a lie from the pit of hell. We can become anything we want to become. We can become anyone we want to become. The people who are making impact in this lives, they don't have two heads. And in case you don't know, some of us, some of you are even intelligent than a lot of people who are so fruitful in this life. It's just because they challenge their paradigms, they challenge, they interrogate their perspectives, their beliefs, they interrogate their beliefs. They are not afraid to take calculated risk. So they achieve so much. And yet, within the same 24 hours that all of us have, some are robotic. From work to this place back home, come and watch TV, sleep. How would change come? Is it not insanity to live the same way and expect different results? Paraphrased by Albert Einstein, our lives are robotic, and yet we are praying, believing that a particular year a change will come. From where and from what? These things may feel like a part of you, but in truth, they are only distractions that prevent us from living fully. Sacrifice is not about loss, it's about exchange. Sacrifice is not about loss. Sometimes wokita bibi amfa so, wankasa wonim sɛ mfa so nni so mma wo. But in order to let it go, then in order for you to bend, you prefer to even break. You will never release it because you're afraid of the change that that is going to bring. When you let go of what is meaningless, you create space for what is meaningful. When you let go of what is meaningless, you create space for what is meaningful. You trade comfort for growth, mediocrity for excellence, and temporary gratification for lasting fulfillment. Obi nya sika na ɔbɛhyɛ sika no nyinaa nnɛ. Ɔkyena na afei n'adwene aba ne ho so. Oh, I could have used that money to do this, to do this. The urgent and important things, onya sika ndi ɔnkae because of instant gratification. Sika no sɛ wie a, na adwene no start yɛ adwuma because there is no agenda for life. If you have agenda for life and you have agenda for your finances, every money that comes to your hand, you release it into something else. When you let go of what is meaningless, you create space for what is meaningful. You trade comfort for growth, mediocrity for excellence, and temporary gratification for lasting fulfillment. These seeds of greatness already lie within us. The seed of greatness in you, you have no idea. You have no idea the seeds of greatness in you. But if you don't take that baby step, how would you learn on the job? How would you grow? How would you become a better? The seeds of greatness already lie within us, but they can only sprout when the soil of our lives are cleared of weeds. The real test of readiness is not in your words, but in your actions. I am tired. I am tired of just speaking. Monday, go watch my video on Monday. I told you many of the things I'm doing today, 2,000. I wrote them down. 2,000. I don't know if you can see. 2,000. The year 2000. I went for a conference. The year 2000, that's the sticker. 2,000. So when I say knowledge is not enough, I know what I'm talking about. Knowledge is not powerful. It's the applied knowledge that is powerful. 2,000. 2,000. I wrote all of this down. 2,000. 2,000. I wrote it, everything down. Is the applied knowledge that is power. So don't let us just gather knowledge and talk and talk and talk and talk, and we don't take any action. And we end up blaming the devil. Which devil? The year 2000. So when you hear people saying, if I knew what I know today, I would have. Yes, growth has taken place. But it's not just the knowing that matters. What you do with what you know, that is what makes the difference. The real test of readiness is not in your words, but in your actions. It is easy to say you want change. Words are cheap. It's just like somebody telling you, I love you. And yet every other thing they do to you tells you they don't take you serious. But when words conflict with action, of course you pay attention to action. So the real test of readiness is not in our words, but in our actions. It is easy to say you want change. It is easy to pray for change, to even fast for change. If we don't take action that will bring change, no change will happen. It wouldn't be any devil's fault. It is easy to say we want better lives, but no better life will come if we don't take calculated actions that will bring that better life. It is harder to walk away from the habits, people, and mindsets that hinder that change. We want change, and yet we go back to our old habits. We want change, and yet we still stay with our limiting beliefs. We are still engrossed in our old habits, unproductive habits, and yet we want change. We want change. How will change come? How will change come? It is easy to say we want change. It is harder to walk away from the habits, people, and mindsets that hinder that change. So, how will the change come? Sacrifice will cost you, but it will cost you less than the regret of the unlived life. Go read the book, The Regrets of the Dying. If you happen to be closer to the people in their late 70s and early 80s, if they are people you respect and they know you respect them and love them, when you meet them, have conversations with them. And if should they open up and tell you their regrets in this life, you can't live anyhow anymore. You can't. You can't. If you have people in your family that they know you love them and you respect them, and they give you the opportunity to have meaningful conversations with them. Go to them and let them share their regrets in life with you. The day you would have those encounters, even just one of them, you can't live anyhow anymore. You can't. Even if you try, your soul won't allow you. After having that conversation with just one person, an elderly person in their late 70s and early 80s, when they open up and share their regrets in this life with you, you can't live anyhow anymore. You can't. So the real test of readiness is not in our words, but in our actions. Aren't we tired of just talking? I want a good life. I deserve a good life. A year by now, you see me. Change is coming. And then we come back into our own robotic, old, bad habits, unproductive mindset, toxic relationships around us. People that when you are climbing, they are pulling you down. People that when you want to share with them, they discourage you. How will the change come? How will the good life come? Sacrifice will cost you. Sacrifice will cost you. It would cost you people. Growth will cost you. People who will deny you just because you are growing, and they find you weird. They find you weird just because you've decided to grow. You are choosing growth over company. You lose people. It would cost you, but it would cost you less than the regrets of an unlived life. The sacrifice that growth will cost you is better than the regrets of the unlived life. So ask yourself today, am I truly willing to let go of what no longer matters? Nneɛma na mfaso nni so ɛmma yɛn sɛ nnipa no, are you ready to let them go? Are you ready to let them go? In order to embrace what truly does. The things your soul has been communicating to you all this while, the life your soul is requesting you to live that you know, and yet you're afraid because that comes with higher form of growth that you are not ready for. So you are comfortable in your comfort zone. Ask yourself today, are you truly ready to let go of what no longer matters in order to embrace what truly does? Count yourself blessed if you are in your 30s and 40s still, and you have the awareness that you deserve a better life within the next 10 years. If only you will not just talk and you not just prophesy into the air, but you take action with your words, you'll be amazed the transformation that can come to your life by the time you are in your 50s. So ask yourself today, am I truly willing to let go of what no longer matters in order to embrace what truly does? The path to becoming the person you are meant to be is paved with sacrifices. A lady was sharing her story with me, how she used to work at a government institution and people within the organization had shops. Nti will leave and no akɔtena ne shop or work wɔ hɔ, ɔkɔ break and no akɔtena ne shop, and then they were laughing. You know, pescado, a young girl pescado. When they were going for bank loans, she was driving a car she bought with her own money. Whilst they were married and struggling, she, as a single, get another store. So by she was 40, she had 3 stores in Makola. And they were going from one loan to the other. Life is not supposed to be this complicated. It's because there's no agenda, there is no purpose. If you have children who are younger, consider their university education, because that takes a chunk Today, if you are investing all your money in dressing, know that in the next 10 years, Asembeto. Any decision action you are taking today, look at the consequences that will bring to you in the next 10 years. Either that will be a burden or a blessing. You determine it. The path to becoming the person you are meant to be is paved with sacrifices. But those sacrifices lead to freedom, purpose, and fulfillment. In the end, your future will not be determined by what you cling to. Your future will not be determined by what you cling to, but by what you are willing to release. The future won't come because of the things we cling to, but the meaningless things we release. How ready and willing are you to sacrifice what you have that makes no meaning to your life? So when you are brave pass out that in your dear, and yet to be bidi keke, and yanko no, but yanko the sum total of it, what would that bring you in 10 years' time? How willing and ready are you to sacrifice what you have today that makes no meaning in order to acquire what you need to become the person you are made to be? If you continue living the way you are living, what will 10 years' time bring? The sum total of your actions today, from your health, your finances, to your relationship, to you determine your barometers. If you continue living the way you are, the sum total of it in 10 years' time, what would that bring you? A blessing or a burden? Life is not just about what we accumulate, but about what we are willing to release to. Every one of us carries things, habits, relationships, possessions, and even mindsets. Things that may no longer serve us, yet we hold on to them because they feel familiar. We don't want to venture into the unknown in any way. But the truth is, to become the person we are made to be, we must be willing and ready to sacrifice what makes no meaning. Nneɛma no mfasodi biara mfa so mbrɛ wo. Na ma woatena w'nneɛma for 3 years straight. Begin to let go of them. Because if you hold on to them the next 10 years, your soul will bleed. But then it will be too late because you can't come back to a whole decade to come make that correction. Sacrifice is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. Sacrifice is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. If you desire growth, transformation, and purpose, you must understand that not everything you currently hold on, not everything you currently hold on to will help you reach your destination. If you desire growth, transformation, and purpose, you must understand that it's not everything around you that will help you reach that destination. The comfort of meaningless routines, the weight of toxic connections. People use you and use you and use you and dump you like you don't matter. And yet the next time they need you, wherever you are, they'll find you. Why do you still hold on to such? People who you scratch their backs and yet they won't be there for you when you need them to scratch your back. Why do you hold on to those connections? They are toxic. They will drain you instead of uplifting you. The weight of toxic connections, the burden of limiting beliefs that keep people stuck in mediocrity. These things may seem small, but they quietly drain the energy and the focus we need to build the future we desire. Ebe o sɛ nyɛ hwee, o ɛyɛ de yɛbɛsesa. Awurade wɔ hɔ nko ara de, ɛbɛyɛ yike. But as long as we continue in these old patterns, it wouldn't be God's fault, not even the devil's fault. Choose ye therefore the life you want to live, and so it would be. It is the sum total of the lives we live, our daily actions, that sum up to the person we become. So don't let us deceive ourselves and think say to be 50 is far away. On my 40th birthday, I thought it would take me eternity to be 50. But here I am, 50 plus 1 next week, Sunday. So don't sit down and think say, we're bima. If you don't do anything about your life today, 10 years will still come and you'll still be the same. It wouldn't be God's fault, it wouldn't be the devil's fault. How can you embrace new opportunities, new possibilities, if your hands are already full of things that don't matter? Wonsa ye ma o, ehde na wutimi gye foforo. Na wonsa na ye ma no nyina nye bibi ade mfa so bro, so nipa. Things that are draining you. Toxic people, toxic relationships, draining relationships, meaningless routines, robotic lifestyles. And yes, I would say possible na what so last year this is the way I left and my results wasn't happy. So this year let me even tweak it a little bit. No, the same robotic ways. How can we become better? How can we embrace new opportunities if our hands are already full of things? Things that don't matter, useless things. How can we climb to the next level of our destinies while carrying baggage and weights that weighs us down? Letting go is not always easy. I understand. I won't sit here and tell you, as I'm saying, let's go, and you drop. Watch my video on when things are sacred and yet they are not useful anymore. Letting go is not always easy, but it is necessary. And the future I want is important to me than the sacrifice of letting go of anything in my life now. So letting go is not easy, I understand you. But if you don't, the regret of not letting go will weigh you so much that you wish you would have had the courage to let go at the time you had the awareness to let it go. Sacrifice may feel like loss at first. That is the way you've lived your life all these years. So the moment you want to take a 180-degree turn around, it wouldn't come easy. You would have to hibernate for a while. Some people can even make mockery of you, but that is their business anyway. It may feel like loss in the beginning, but it is in fact an exchange. It is not lost. Nothing is lost. It is just an exchange. You give up what is shallow to receive what is meaningful. You give up what is useless in order to get what is useful. Where is the lost? Where is the lost? Where is the lost? It is just an exchange. But in the beginning, you feel like a lost. You give up what is shallow to receive what is meaningful. You have gained, you haven't lost anything. You trade temporary comfort for lasting fulfillment. And you release what is empty to embrace what is purposeful. Which said you have lost? You have gained. You have won. The question then is not whether opportunities will come your way or not, because definitely they will. The real question is whether you'll be ready and when they do. Readiness requires courage. And that courage is not being rude and insulting everybody or just letting the world know that you have arrived. Now I am bold. I am confident. I am taking charge of my life. No. No. The courage that when everybody is saying no, you can silently tell yourself, take the next step. Take the next step. Let them laugh. Take the next step. Let them talk. Take the next step. It demands that you look honestly at your life and ask, what in the world has no real value? What must I let go in order to create space for growth? What must I let go at this point of my life in order to create space for growth? What must you let go at this point in your life? Because you know if you continue like this, the next 10 years will come and your life is still the same. What must you let go to create space for growth? The journey to becoming who you are created to be is not about adding more. That is what society and probably religion has taught us. It has nothing to do with adding more, adding more. No. Adding more junk, you are just adding. It's about refining, cutting away what is meaningless so that what is essential can shine. Everything you need in order to become who you are meant to be is already in you. But deɛ ekuta mu, deɛ atwa yɛn ho ahyia, deɛ de ahoɔden ne adaadeɛ ɛso ɛyɛ nyinaa, mfaso biara nni so. Nti what the internal greatness in you is just dormant. So the journey to becoming who you are created to be is not about adding more. It's about refining, cutting away what is meaningless so that what is essential in you will begin to shine. Refining, cutting away what is meaningless, what is useless, so that what is essential will begin to shine. Those who are willing to sacrifice are the ones who rise. And I know if you are ready and willing to sacrifice, you would equally shine. You would shine and you amaze yourself. Those who cling to meaningless would always wonder why life feels stagnant. Those are the people that turn around and ask, how did I get here? They just cling to meaningless and still expect to get meaningful lives. It doesn't happen like that. So, how ready and willing are you? Your willingness to sacrifice today will determine the person you wake up to tomorrow. Watch my video, I think Tuesday, on what life will you live in the next 10 years? What life will the sum total of your life be in the next 10 years? How ready and willing are you? Your willingness to sacrifice today will determine the person you wake up to tomorrow. This is not rocket science. The life we have built now without a result of choices and decisions we took, actions we took about 10 years ago. If you don't like what you are getting, be willing and ready to take decisions and actions that the sum total of it will be a blessing to you in the next 10 years. This is not rocket science. It is not rocket science. Neither is it spiritual. Your willingness to sacrifice today, to let go of what is meaningless, will bring you the meaningful life you need in the next 10 years. The sum total of our actions today will come knocking at our doors in the next 10 years. It wouldn't be any devil's fault. In the end, you would find that what you gave up was nothing compared to what you gained. You think I'm speaking to you? I'm prophesying to myself too. In the end, if you are ready to and willing to let go of what is meaningless in order to get the meaningful life you want, in the end, you realize that nothing compared. What you realize that nothing, what you gave up was nothing compared to what you gained. Purpose, clarity, and the fulfillment of living as the person you were always meant to be. The peace of mind, the fulfillment, the satisfaction that that compound interest will bring you. You'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did. Life is an opportunity cost. This is not just meant for the economic students. Trade what you have that is of no use to the future you need. You see, life in its simplest form, yeah, is a series of choices. In its simplest form, it's a series of choices. Our lives are the way they are today because of the choices we took. Every step we take involves a trade off. Whether we realize it or not, it is. Economics call it opportunity cost, the value of what you give up in order to gain something else. This principle is not limited to money or resources alone. It applies to every aspect of human existence. It applies to every aspect of human existence. Life itself is an opportunity cost to grow, become more, evolve. You must constantly trade what you have for what you need. And that everything does not support. In order to become who you are made to be, to become better, to evolve, to grow, whatever synonym you want to put there, in order to become more, let's put it, in order to become the life, to have the life you desire, you must constantly trade what you have for what you need. And everything that does not support your growth must give way. Everything. And everything is everything. Everything that does not support the person you want to become must give way. Too often, people hold tightly to habits, possessions, relationships, or toxic mindsets that serve no real purpose in their lives. They cling to what feels safe, even when it limits their progress. You know this is limiting your progress, and yet you hold on to it. Why? Growth always demands sacrifices, just like I said earlier on. You cannot rise to new heights while still holding on to things that are holding you down, being in environments and situations that still keep you down. How would you rise? Just as a tree sheds its leaf to survive in winter and bloom again in spring, look at the dry season and the wet season. Ɛdu dry season na wonam ɔpɛ bere na ndua nyinaa so apa woka sɛ dua no awu. Ɛnwuiɛ. Nsu starte tɔ na ɛfisi ase sɛ ɛfefɛ a, wobɛhu sɛ even trees understand this principle. Na yɛn a yɛyɛ nnipa. Even trees. We cannot rise to new heights while carrying the weights of what holds us down. Just as any tree can shed its leaves in autumn to survive the winter and then bloom again in spring, even trees in Riampo, we must learn to let go of what no longer nourishes our destiny. It served you at a point, but it's not servicing your life anymore. What use is that in your life? Trading what you have for what you need requires courage and clarity. It means being honest within yourself about what is no longer adding value to your journey. Is it an unhealthy routine? A cycle of friends who drain your energy? A mindset rooted in fear and self-doubt? Wotumi hu obi a wotumi sɛ ɔwɔ great potential, but ɔno ankasa na ɔde ne ho no feel sɛ ɔne n'abrabɔ ade papa bi ntumi mfi mu mba. And I'm like, how on earth can you think about your life like that? And these are the same people I will be here mmoa they can help them in every way. They can give you counsel, and whether you like it or not, you have to oblige because you see pure wisdom, and yet they can't use the same things in their own lives. Self doubt. They don't think they deserve anything good in this life. Either their mindsets are wrong, they will never own up to their actions. The viewer obi na yom, obi na amwa and life is not fair. If you don't look at what is inside of you and you think your life is just about external forces, no growth will happen to you. A mindset rooted in fear and self-doubt will not bring you any meaningful life. If it doesn't support your growth, it has no place in your future. To keep it is to sacrifice your potential. To release it is to make room for transformation. The choice has been and will always be ours to make. This trade is not loss. It is an actual investment. It is not a loss. When you give up distractions, you gain focus. When you give up distractions, you gain focus. When you sacrifice comfort, you gain strength. When you let go of people who don't believe in you, you create space for those who will. As simple as that. When you let go of people who don't believe in you, you create space for those who will. As simple as that. Every meaningful achievement is born from the willingness to exchange what is meaningless for what is purposeful. Every meaningful achievement, name them. Every meaningful achievement is born from the willingness to exchange what is meaningless for what is purposeful. Because the truth is, life will always ask you, what are you willing to let go of in order to reach what you are destined to be? The person you are today was shaped by the traits you made yesterday. The person you and I are today were shaped by the traits we made yesterday. And the person we will become tomorrow equally depends on the choices we make now. So live with the awareness that everything has an opportunity cost. Live with the awareness that everything has an opportunity cost. Do not be afraid to release what no longer serves you. Do not be afraid to release what no longer serves you. Choose growth over stagnation, purpose over comfort, and vision over fear. And watch how your life will transform before your very eyes. In the end, the greatest freedom and fulfillment come not from holding on, but from letting go of meaningless things and boldly trading the lesser for the greater. Trees shed their lives in winter, mainly as a survival strategy, and sometimes as human, you have to hide beneath. Trees shed their leaves in winter as a survival strategy. Do you have a survival strategy? Do you have a survival strategy? Sometimes to conserve water, because in winter the ground often freezes and water becomes scarce. By dropping their leaves, trees reduce water. They reduce water loss through transpiration, and they are able to conserve water. What is your survival strategy in this life? They shed their leaves in winter to protect against cold damage. What is your survival strategy? If not, you'll be overwhelmed. Leaves are delicate and can easily be damaged by frost, snow, or ice. If trees kept their leaves, they would freeze, break, and harm the trees. What is your survival strategy? Even if a tree has a strategy, what are our survival strategies? If the tree leaves its leaves on, because they are delicate and can easily be damaged by frost, snow, or ice, it would damage them. It would freeze, break, and harm the tree itself, not even just the leaves, the tree itself. To prevent structural damage, snow and ice will pile up on leaves and branches, making them heavy and more likely to snap. Bare branches allow snow and ice to slide off more easily. What is your survival strategy in this life? In that time, I think the trees focus on survival, not growth. Shedding leaves is like a tree going into energy saving mode for winter. When your battery is 20% and you don't have your charger with you, and so you have about few kilometers before you get home, what do? You put your battery on energy saving mode. What are your survival strategies in this life? I think this is a full video I have to do. When trees shed their leaves in winter, they are not dying. They are preparing for renewal. They let go of what no longer serves them so they can survive the harsh season and return even stronger in spring. They let go of what no longer serves them so they can survive the harsh season and return even stronger in spring. In the same way, in the same way, life often calls us to release things that weigh us down. Toxic relationships, unproductive habits, outdated mindsets, even roles we have grown. A lot of things we have grown along the line and we still hang on to them. Holding on may feel comfortable, Just like a tree could cling to its leaves, but doing so will only cause harm in the long run. Holding on may feel comfortable. We're already used to that. Oh, it's not good for us, but you see, we don't know what other things also may bring. Let's continue. The tree itself would have collapsed if it kept its leaves on. Holding on may feel comfortable, but just like a tree could cling to its leaves, but doing so would only cause harm in the long run. So we have to let go of things that serve us no use. Letting go doesn't mean loss, it means making space. Just as bare branches wait patiently for new buds, our lives too can blossom in fresh, unexpected ways. We free ourselves from what no longer nourishes us. So the lesson is this: growth requires shedding. So where do you have flowers? Where do you have hedges? Be will fee na ume then a trees. But if you're able to trim and shape them constantly, you still get the design, the patterns you want, and they can, as long as you want them to be, you can still get your shape as hedges and as flowers. You trim, you prune. Yeah, I think prune was the right word I was looking for. You prune them so uh, the meaningful and the meaningless things in our lives. We harness the meaningful things and prune the meaningless ones. Growth requires shedding. If trees, even trees, can trust the cycle of letting go to bloom again, so can we. So can we. When we look at trees, we often admire their beauty in spring, their fullness in summer, and their colors in autumn. Yet one of their greatest lessons comes in winter, when they stand bare, having shed all their leaves. What seems like loss is actually wisdom. Trees let go of what no longer serves them, not because they want to, but because they must in order to survive and thrive again. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. In winter, water is scarce, sunlight is weak, and the cold is harsh. Holding onto leaves would only drain a tree's strength, make it vulnerable to damage, and weigh it down under the burden of snow. By shedding that tree, by shedding that leaves, the tree conserves energy, protects itself, and creates space for new growth. So every greatness is in you. But if you don't prune the meaningless things around you, you will not be able to create space for the new growth. Our lives mirror the same sex cycle. When the tree sheds, it conserves energy, protects itself, and creates space for new growth. So that comes spring, the branches that once looked empty burst forth with fresh leaves. Na sɛ dua po nim sɛ ɛdu baabi a nsuo nni fam, ɛte sɛ ɔma n'ahaban no poroporo gu fam sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ dua no nwu a, ade na nneɛma atwa yɛn ho ahyia a mfaso biara nni so ma yɛn na still a yɛde nenam wiase. Na wiase ayɛ dendenden, so complicated, whereby the greatestness in us will never come alive As long as we are surrounding ourselves with all these meaningless things, edua ponim, sedu, baby and so uniform, and so many, all the leaves, nina, a progu form. So that comes spring, the branches that once looked empty burst forth with fresh leaves, stronger and more vibrant than before. Our lives mirror the same cycle. I've told you if you are teachable, the universe will use everything and anything to teach us. Our lives mirror the same cycle. There are seasons when we too must shed. It may mean releasing old habits that hinder us, letting go of all these toxic relationships, or abandoning mindsets that no longer fit who we are becoming. Holding on may feel safe, but like a tree in winter, clinging to what is no longer useful only weakens us and keeps us from moving forward. Letting go is not the end, it is preparation. It is creating room for renewal, for transformation, for new opportunities to take root. Just as the tree trusts that spring will come, we too must trust that after every season of loss comes a season of abundance. Once we are doing the work, once we are taking action, it might look like we are losing, but at the end of it all, it would come with a season of abundance. So the wisdom of the tree is clear. Every growth, any form of growth, requires shedding. If we want to live fully, we cannot carry the weight of everything and everyone with us. Release what drains you. Protect your energy. Conserve your strength for what truly matters. And when the time is right, you, my dear one, will blossom again, stronger, freer, and more alive than ever before. When the time is really right, you would blossom again, stronger, freer, and more alive than before. So, my question tonight has been, how ready and willing are you to sacrifice what you have now that makes no meaning to you in order to acquire what you need to become the person you are made to be? You don't need to answer me. Answer your own soul, because you can deceive everybody, but you can never deceive your own soul. So think about these things. In the comment section, you can share your growth with us too. 14 days to 14 September. Last September, hooray! Another September is here. I don't know what it teaches you, but it tells me that even if I do nothing, life is still not waiting for me. Time is oxidating. So if we don't take action, if we don't do anything concerning our lives, it wouldn't be any devil's fault. It wouldn't even be God's fault. It would be as a result of our choices and our decisions. In the same way, when we choose to right and choose well, the sum total of our choices and decisions will bring us the meaningful life our souls desire. 14 days to 14 September. Tomorrow will be another night, and I'll come your way. Same time, same space. Much love and blessing.